Yo, people, what's going on? It's Egal Talks Football. We're back again with another video. We beat Bournemouth 4-0, ladies and gentlemen. Bukayo Saka got on the goal sheet. Martin Odegaard got on the goal sheet. Ben White got on the goal sheet. And Waka waka, Kai Havertz, 60 million down the drain. He scored again. I messed it up, but you guys know what I mean. I'm so gassed, guys. Yes, I was extremely gassed after the game. I've kind of calmed down a little bit, but I'm still hyped. One of the best performances we've seen so far this season from the team. Another clean sheet. Raya played well. A bunch of guys played well. Kai Havertz did his thing. Martin Odegaard did his thing. But Bukayo Saka got a goal. I don't know if he's injured. I hope he's not injured. We're going to get into that in a bit. We got two wonderful guests with us. We're going to talk about the match reaction and everything else in a second. I also just want to give a shout out to the whole entire team and the away support. The away support was important. They deserve a round of applause. They were singing their hearts off the whole entire game. The whole time on TV, all we could hear is Waka waka, Kai Havertz. That's I don't know how it goes, but you know what I mean. Anyways, let's get the show going. Let's bring the boys in. We got Sulz in the building. We got Curran in the building. And you know what? We both predicted 2-0. Guess who got the score right?
It was him, yeah.
Guess who got the score right?
And I said Kai Havertz. Remember what I said? Kai Havertz will score.
Yes, you did. You said Kai Havertz would score. You said 4-0. And what an amazing weekend. We win. We get 4 goals. We get a Kai Havertz goal. We make up ground on Liverpool and Man City. It's a win-win. It's a win-win weekend. I don't know. What are you guys saying? I kind of never really gave my full match reaction because I was on the terrace and I was kind of just yelling and screaming like a crazy person. But I'll tell you guys this. I was excited. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being excited, guys. I'm kind of quiet right now because my son's sleeping, but 4-0 away from home. Best performance, I would say, overall. Defensively, on point. Midfield, on point. And surprisingly enough, all the players that I thought were going to be out injured, Saka starts. Rice starts. Saliba starts. That just shows me Mikel Arteta keeps his cards close to his chest and he doesn't give everybody all the information. Unlike previously where we used to give out everything and people leak all the information and everything else like that. Now, I want to shout out some people and I want to go through some of the players' performances. I thought from the first, when I seen the lineup, I was like, you know what, very strong lineup. We're going to go into this game. We're going to win. First half, there were some question marks. Some people were having over some players, but Eddie Nketiah, I think people need to give him his flowers. He was integral in the first 2 goals. Bukayo Saka, even though he looks injured, he still contributes. Martin Odegaard, goal and assist, and of course gives the penalty to Kai Havertz to nail. And everyone's going to talk about Ben White because he scored the goal, but I want to talk about Gabriel Magalhaes because defensively he was the one today who was the bedrock of that defense. He kept his team together. Recovery after recovery, clearance after clearance, header after header, block after block. It just seemed like he was on point. And finally, what the glue that brings everything together is the goalkeeper. Has the goalkeeper change made that big of a difference? This is one thing we have to ask ourselves. But yeah, this is my match reaction. I'm going to throw it over to the boys because since Raya has become in charge, has taken charge, we've been seeing a lot more controlled defensive performances. Is it a coincidence? I'm not here to bash Ramsdale, but I'm just saying, could we be a better side with Raya in the team, or is it just we're going to beat Bournemouth even if we didn't have Raya in the team? Maybe this is not a conversation we need to have every week, but hey, it's just a talking point. But for now, I'm going to throw it over to Sulz. Sulz, what are you saying, man?
You know what? They did their jobs. You know, at the end of the day, for me, it only means something if we can actually go and get a result against Man City at the Emirates next week. Obviously, in terms of what we needed, we needed a statement performance, especially with the weeks leading up to the 2-2, in the North London derby. Obviously, we just beat Brentford. A lot of fans are a bit up in the arms about, whether we can kick on and whether we can show the signs of the team that we saw last season. And I think today, it wasn't scintillating, don't get it twisted, but it was showing that sort of ruthlessness, to try and at least end the game early, to get those substitutions on. I mean, there's still a few points that, such as, was Saka playing for too long, considering leading up to this, the whole game that we were told, he might have a knock, he might have an injury. Did we put him on for too long? Could we have just taken him off earlier? These are the kinds of talking points that are going to come up. But for me, this is the kind of performance we needed, especially to boost our confidence to go into that Man City game. And looking at Man City right now as well, they don't look like themselves without Rodri, KDB, Bernardo Silva being out. And it's a prime time for us to go into that game. But it would have been poor if we had just gone into it with a 1-0 win. I know we've got Lens midweek, and that can obviously change your fortunes around, and we can have a big win against them as well. But this is perfect for me. I think ESR got minutes, Reece Nelson came on, got minutes. You've had Jorginho come on. Players got a few minutes, to play the game. So if we need them to make an impact against Man City, they're not coming into it too rusty. ESR had a few minutes before as well, obviously playing against Brentford. So I feel like the squad is being utilised so that if something was to happen, they're not coming into it cold. Tomiyasu came on as well, played left back. Maybe that's a sign of things to come. So yeah, I think at the moment, there's nothing to complain about. I think it's just more about a case of let's keep the motions going. The fans were pivotal to everything that we were doing. You could see as soon as Kai Havertz scored, when they started chanting, that gave him confidence. And obviously, we'll get onto individual performances in a moment, but, Kai Havertz gets too much stick. The guy actually does perform. Like, I know it's not scintillating. I know it's not everything we ask for, but his overall game today was actually fine. Like, I don't think there's anything that we can complain about. I know it's a penalty, but it was needed. He just needed to open his goal scoring account with Arsenal and just get that goal out and done with. And this was the perfect time. 2-0 up. We've got another penalty. Go ahead. You get your goal. He's got a good penalty record, so the risks weren't that high anyway. But also, I have to kind of give it to Eddie Nketiah today as well. I don't think he had a scintillating performance, but it was a good performance. It's what we kind of, if you're not going to score goals, at least do this. So, again, I still don't think he's good enough. Like, don't get it twisted. I'm not going to sit here and go, I still want him at the club or I don't want him sold. I still think we need to upgrade or we need to have a better option if Jesus isn't playing down the middle. And I think the other talking point we can get onto, why would you take away your best 9 and play him on the wing when you have got natural wingers? I think there are a few questions. Maybe Arteta's tinkering just to have an option. But overall, I'm not going to complain. We won 4-0. There's nothing to really complain about. But overall, you know what? That's what we needed. Confident booster. We dispatched them. We got our substitutions. Overall, great day.
We're back, baby. That's what I was thinking the whole time. We're back at our best, hopefully. That's what I need to see. What you saying, Curran? What you saying? How you feeling?
It's not something that I wouldn't expect, to be honest. The main thing is we got the win, we got the points, and we came home, pretty much scarless. So that's the main talking point of the day. But some interesting talking points. I think you mentioned Raya. I personally wasn't really all the things that we were told to expect from Raya didn't really come off today. His distribution wasn't all that. Like there's a lot of times where he was passing it in through the lines and it wasn't hitting his man. He was very good at shot stopping wise. I'll give him that, but there wasn't much to stop. So I think I understand the point about Raya being a bit more of a safe hand. But I'm not going to sit here and say there's a massive difference between Ray and Ramsdale, and it's not something I really care about that much. But I think both sides have gone a bit tribal with it, and I don't really get it when the clear message is both will get minutes. But I'm sure we'll get into it. But in terms of the overall performance, a clear dominant performance from start to finish. I think there were times where they did have a couple of chances, but it wasn't anything that I didn't think we could handle. Definitely something that I just think, a fun day. It was nicely boring. Let's put it that way. It was complete controlled performance. It was like I after the white goal, I actually switched to City to watch the end of that game because I wanted to see if what would happen there because they were trying to chase the game down. But yeah, a really solid performance throughout from all the guys. I think obviously the Havertz stuff. Well, I'm sure we'll get into. I have some interesting thoughts on Havertz, but. Yeah, very happy to see some guys get some goals. Happy to see Havertz get a goal, and that atmosphere was ridiculous. I think Bournemouth create an atmosphere from the away end that is very hard to rival in the league. So yeah, very nice.
Okay, let's go to the first topic. The first topic is going to be, you know what? Should we start with the positives before we go to the negatives? Because I feel like We always go to the negatives.
What's the negatives? Like, let's just get them out of the way. I actually want to stay positive. You're gonna anger me again, aren't you, Egal?
Okay.
I'm actually in a good mood.
Did you see Saka come off injured?
Yes, I did see Saka.
I mean that could be anything. We don't actually.
No, but the thing is, right? I think people get too presumptive with the injuries. Like, genuinely, Mikel lies through his teeth consistently. Like, he just says whatever he feels like, and then we find out on the game day everyone's fit. It's just like a case of, look, when the lineup comes out, then we'll see what happens. Because when you look at Mikel's presses or what's going on in the midweek, even with training pictures, whatever, we hide people, we show people, we try to mix it up, we try to make sure the opposition doesn't know what's happening. So I wouldn't be too worried. I just think that he clearly got kicked. I think there was a meeting of legs. And he's walked off the pitch. I think he's just had a bit of a knock, and he'll probably take a day off. Hopefully we don't see him against Long. I wouldn't mind if he came on as a sub, but I don't want to see him starting as Long personally. But
I'll just keep it simple. Bukayo Saka has been injured for a couple of weeks now, but it's not an injury that's like something severe. It's just like, you know, those knocks that you can play on with. And he knows his body better than us. The doctors at Arsenal know his body better than us. The manager knows Bukayo Saka and his limitations better than us. If he and the manager and the doctor believe that he can continue, who am I to second guess it? All I can say is, hopefully, he doesn't have a severe injury, because we have a big game next week, and we have a Champions League game midweek. The Champions League game midweek, I think we can manage without him. But the game against Man City, we're going to need him. Hopefully he's ready to go for that game, and hopefully it's not something bad. But it didn't look that bad.
It genuinely, it looked like just a meeting of legs.
I think he just wanted to get subbed off. I got a buddy who works at the Emirates, and he told me every time he sees Saka walking, he's limping.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, right, when you see players go down like that, like there is obviously a worry there, but until he didn't mention anything about scans, it's just a case of he just needs to recover from the knock.
All right, what are you saying, Sulz? Anything on you?
No, I mean, it's kind of what you guys just said. I mean, when you've played football, you get those, like, where the stud hits you, for example, and you just feel sore for a couple of days, and then you're back, to walking normal. I mean, we've got to just wait and see what happens, But I know we've got a bad injury record, and the doctors can't be trusted, etc. I understand all of that, but the reality is, these guys are paid professionals, and they'll know, like you said, they'll know their bodies better than us. The doctors will know the bodies better than us. And to be honest with you, he's walking off, which is a positive sign. And for me, he'll get a rest midweek. I don't even think I want to see him in the squad personally. I know a lot of people are going to give him minutes, but sometimes, when you get injuries, or when you need to get back to fitness, or certain injuries actually require you to play football, to get back to your full fitness, and to get rid of the injury, you have to walk it off. You got to run it off. So I don't know, man. I'm not an expert. I don't really know. I just trust the club to make the right decision. I mean, it's one of the highest. Even if you want to look at it from a non-footballing perspective, and you want to look at it from a purely business perspective, he's the highest valued asset that they have. They're not going to want to ruin that. They're not going to want to potentially go from, having him to a broken down car. Now, let's be real. He's a Bugatti in our team. He can go for millions and millions and millions of pounds. They're not going to want to ruin that. So I think from both perspectives, you need to just trust the club's making the right decision.
Away wins at Southampton, away wins at Bournemouth. This is what we do. We love these performances. I feel like Bournemouth has been a good hunting ground for us the last season and this season. So hopefully they stay up. We can have another good win. Our upcoming games are Lens, Man City, then international break, then Chelsea away, Sevilla, Sheffield United, and West Ham. We just need to get through that Lens game unscathed, go into that Man City game, and I'm comfortable for the rest of the games. I'm not looking that far advanced. Now it's time to talk about, Arsenal are still unbeaten for the opening 7 games of the Premier League, and we're unbeaten in all competitions. Who would have knew it after last week? But hey, let's talk about Kai Havertz. Guys, do we now that he scored a goal today, would you say today was his best performance?
Not because of the goal, though. it's not because of the guy. Like we're gonna have to have a discussion about it. It's just, I think a lot of people before the game, I tweeted before the game saying I think he's playing Jesus out wide for Havertz. I think against Brentford, I think we mentioned it on the last show. There was times where Jesus and Havertz, they looked like they could work well together. There was times when Jesus would drop and Havertz would run beyond, and they linked up a couple of times well, and it resulted in a couple of shots. So I think, well, that's basically what I thought. My personal thought was he's playing Jesus a bit wide just to see if there's a relationship there that can be developed, because he's talked a lot in press conferences about developing relationships on the pitch. And we saw it a bit today. I think there were times when Havertz would be in the left half space just on the edge of the box, and Jesus would be running around him and picking off spaces as Jesus would draw people towards him. That happened a couple of times. And Havertz as well was, he was good. I think he was decent off the ball. I think he had it was like 5 out of 9 ground duels won, which for a midfielder is decent, 56% or something like that. 19 out of 23 passes. Like these are decent-ish passing numbers. I'm not saying they're amazing. It's not like you're winning 70% of your duels and you're completing at a 93 or 94% passing rate, but that's an improvement. So I think off the ball he's improving, on the ball he's improving, and he's starting to form some relationships on the pitch as well. So I think that's the most important thing. It's not the penalty.
I think the fans supporting him for basically almost the entire 90 minutes, or after he scored, I just felt like the whole rest of the game we just sang his song. That was amazing. For like 50 minutes of the match, from the 53rd minute for the rest of the match, added time, everything, we just celebrated him scoring that goal. And it was like, it wasn't like it was more like we just want him to know we're backing him. And I like that, because social media fans and the fans that are going to the game, social media fans are two different people. The people who go to the game support the team no matter what. People on social media are just going to get angry, and it is what it is. But the reality is, if you're going to go to the game, that's what you want to see. You want to see the whole crowd supporting your players, backing your players for the whole 90 minutes. That performance today from the whole entire team, we could have scored 7, guys. We could have scored so many goals. Like, how many chances do we have that we could have scored?
There was a few. I mean, there was one when Eddie ran through and he could have released a bit earlier. There was
Smith Rowe could have scored.
Smith Rowe could have scored.
Yeah, 90th minute. Jesus
should have chipped the keeper. No, he should have chipped the keeper instead of trying to make a pass. There was another one there. But I mean, no, that's nitpicking.
What about Eddie Nketiah? Eddie Nketiah have any chances?
I'm not allowed to speak on that, apparently. Your chat's going to get angry at me.
Oh, yeah. Are you really going to get on to Eddie?
No, you're talking about chances missed. So if I start talking about that, they're going to get on to me.
Yeah, he missed some chances in the first half. That's true. Eddie,
no, but you know what, though? Like,
Talk to me about Eddie.
Chances are going to get missed, man. Like, it is what it is. Like, I think today is what I'm hoping to see more of Eddie. If you're not scoring, do what you're doing. Help the team score goals. That's what Jesus does in the middle. He might not be prolific. He might not get, 15, 20, 30 goals, like many of the competitors that we're competing against, like the Man Cities, the Liverpools, they've got Salah getting like 20 goals, 25 goals. You've got Haaland, obviously a freak of nature, getting about 30-odd goals. But if you're not going to do that, do what Jesus does, at least become a facilitator for people to be able to score goals, for your team to score goals. And I think today, like Eddie was showing a lot more of that, coming deep, holding the ball up well, turning his defenders, making space for other players. I mean, look, there's still a long way for Eddie to go.
He created 2 chances.
Yeah. Like, I think today was a very, very good performance for him. But the reality
is...
Actually,
do those count as chances created? Not really.
Which ones?
Wasn't he involved in both the penalty and the opening goal from Bukayo Saka with the pass?
Yeah, I mean, because he won the penalty, didn't he?
He won the
first
penalty.
one with the Odegaard one, and then I think for the Saka one, I think he was the first phase passer to lead up to the Saka goal. Oh, was he the one who? And then Jesus
passed the ball to Jesus, no?
Was it him or was it? I can't even remember.
Yeah,
my memories.
By the way,
no, it was
pass accuracy. 100% pass accuracy. In the final third, I think he had 1 pass into the final third. he had like 4 successful dribbles. Like if you look at the stats, he had himself one hell of a game. But forget about the stats. I just think he could have made. Yes, he could have scored 2 chances. One of them was blocked. One of them was shot wide. Those things happen. This was a game where we could have scored 7 goals if we were more clinical. I think our XG. What was our XG? Plus 3.4. Wow. Actually lower than I thought.
No, that's still a lot for 4 goals to score on 3.4. It's not like you're doing what Aston Villa did today with like 6 goals of 1.69 xG. Like you earned
they were
shots,
just
you earned your
clinical
chance.
today.
Yeah, they were very clinical today. So yeah, I mean there was a lot.
Okay, let's go into some of these individual performances now. I think the best way to do it is the Arsenal account actually had some man of the match guys. So I'm gonna just go. What is this? Message from.
Thank you so much for your support. Come on.
What did he say?
He said, "Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you so
Amazing
much
win
for your
today.
support.
Thank you so much for your support."
I'm not gonna lie. He deserves a shout out. He deserves a shout out. Let's talk about Magalhaes. Where is his image? Because here it is. I think Gabriel Magalhaes on away trips, he always performs. It almost seems like in these games against the Fulhams, the Bournemouths. Whenever we play them away, he's the guy. Now I know Saliba's always looked at as the guy also, but is it me or does he perform better in these games away from home when we're trying to be defensive and he's always the guy that's the aggressive one, putting it on the players? I just feel like he's the commanding defender back there. So
It depends on this is the thing. It depends on the game state. And away from home, you're usually trying to get the goal, and then you need to be combative in defense and really, grind out the win at times. And if you want someone to win duels, it's Gabriel. Gabriel's the better defender. So
top performance, yep.
So yeah, that kind of lends to why it would be more it would be more of a better performance from Gabriel away from home than in comparison to Saliba. But Saliba himself today was, there was a couple of challenges, one in the box where he slid and it looked like he was going to give away a corner. He actually got it off the man and it went behind. So there's a couple of they're both just excellent defenders. And the main thing is together. And this is why I don't like comparing individual defenders, because you're only as good as the person next to you. Because as a defensive unit, if you have a mistake from your partner, it's still going to count as a goal against your defense. It's not like you're one-on-one. So it's not like you're scoring, or even assisting. If it's a mistake by your defense, even if say it's a mistake by your goalkeeper, it's still going to come on you. So defensive comparisons is better to do as a unit. So yeah, it's very interesting to talk about, but I think both of them complement each other so well that it's very easy for them to gel together and form a very, very, very good partnership.
Okay, let's talk about it, guys. Who's your man of the match? Kai Havertz. Who's your man of the match? Is Kai Havertz your man of the match?
No, I don't think Kai Havertz. I think.
What about Sulz?
That's hard, man. That's hard.
Because here are the candidates that the Arsenal website put forward. Kai Havertz, right? Kai Havertz is one. They put Odegaard as the second, 2 goals and assist, and he won the penalty for the third goal. Bukayo Saka was another candidate, and Gabriel Magalhaes. Each did their own job. He scored the goal. He had a good performance. We already know the captain. I feel like we haven't spoken about Martin Odegaard yet too much. Is it me or is he just his end product is becoming a big part of his game now?
Yeah, it is. I mean, when you score 15 non-penalty goals in one season, it's going to be. So yeah, very, very good to see.
He's our top goal scorer now with 4 goals in all comps, or no, 5 goals in all comps. Yeah, 5 goals in all comps. That's what he has right now. He has a lot of assists too. He's been really performing well in the first couple games. Honestly, I think if he keeps it up, he could easily be once again on double-digit goals and assists. I think last year he didn't get double-digit assists, did he?
No, I don't think so.
He got like 7 assists, but he's definitely going to get double digits this time. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Sulz, you got anything to say on good old Odegaard?
No, man. I mean, this is the guy I backed to get over James Maddison. He's proving me right every single week, season on season. You know, he's delivering on what we want him to deliver on. His end product's getting better. His playmaking ability is getting better. I think the only question mark is big games. I know he's performed in some of them, but you know, it's that consistency in the big games to not hide away. And once that comes, you know, we've got, look, he's 23, 24, 25. He's an elite player already at his age. But now it's just about delivering them trophies to us and just carry on what you're doing, man. Like at the end of the day, I think he's going to get double-figure goals, double-figure assists. He's going to start putting his output is actually going to be statistical, and rather than just something that we theorize and whether we can predict he'll do it. So yeah, man, he's Captain Fantastic for a reason.
What about you? What about you, Curran? Who's your man of the match?
My man of the I've been thinking.
For me, it's Odegaard. Simple.
No, for me, it's Benjamin White.
Yeah, I mean,
Ooh,
my thought was probably going to be Gabriel personally, but like
Gabriel?
even with him, it was so much of a team performance that I just don't think you can go with one guy. I think Kai is going to be generous because I don't think he was the best player.
I think Kai is going to get it from the.
Kai's going to get it for narrative, but I don't think it will. I don't think it's reflective of the actual, what actually happened on the pitch.
I really do think Gabriel is the one that caught my eye the most. So I do understand why people are going to give it to him. But for me, I originally was saying I would have given it to Odegaard.
Odegaard's a decent shout.
But you know what? What I don't get is guys like know new things when he's talking about Odegaard. People are talking about Odegaard as if he's Bruno now. That he's like all he wants to do is score goals and be a second striker.
I mean, just think about the sentence you just said, right? Why would if I have a midfielder that wants to score goals, the question is it's all you want to do is score goals? He was much more active deeper today than he was in other games. I personally, for me anyway, I don't know about you guys. But for me, he was much more active, deeper in deeper areas than he was before. And I think Kai was as well. I think Kai was a lot more deeper in areas where you'd want to see him in, because there's times where you want to see an extra body and build, and he was doing that. So yeah, look, genuinely, I just don't think it's that big a problem. I think that if people want to have, people are more than welcome to their opinions, obviously, but I think that only saying a midfielder is in trouble because he's only wants to do goals, I think that's a bit much for me. I think if he was going to say, look, I think that he's not contributing enough in the deeper phases, then fine, that's a different conversation. But he's not really not doing that. I don't know how to say that. He's not. He is doing that. So, I think it's not a big issue at all for sure.
Okay. The final goal scorer doesn't get spoken about enough today. Doesn't get spoken about enough today. Benjamin White does not get enough plaudits for his performances. Sulz, you want to take it away?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I wanted to give him man of the match is just he was solid in every phase of play, whether it was linking up attackingly, whether it's defensively. The guy, I think he goes so under the radar because of how consistently reliable he's been. We don't see mistakes from him. We don't see, and obviously today we've seen the goal, to kind of wrap up a dominant performance. But he's that kind of guy that you always give a 70. You'll always give that's the kind of mark he's always at. He's never a under average performer, and that's what people don't like, because he doesn't do any of the flashy stuff. He doesn't necessarily be a man like nutmeg people or any of that. He's just reliable. You don't need to mention him because he's not the one making a mistake. He's not the one having the last ditch blocks or tackles, and that's why he doesn't get the plaudits I believe he deserves. The right hand side has never been a problem to attack. Like if you attack the right hand side, you're losing the game. But if you attack not to say it's Zinchenko's fault, but you're not going to get past that right hand side, and that's a huge credit to Ben White, of course. There's Saliba there as well, and yeah, man, I just think people it's because of the whole. People want to be right about their narratives. He cost £50 million. The whole, it's Ben Shite, it's this, it's that. He's the one that kept Saliba out. So, we want to have an
But
agenda.
the thing is, I don't really get why people are so fixated on trying. It's not even just trying to be right. I think people want to win the narrative. I think that's the main thing. It's not even about, because even bringing it up, like there's no reason to really look at it and be like, okay, this is something that's a massive problem. This is a massive problem. This is a massive problem. It's not a massive problem, because if you look at the dynamics of our build and you look at the dynamics in the final third, Ben White provides width on the right hand side, allows our best player to be our best player. So without Ben, because Odegaard doesn't pull wide, Odegaard likes to stay a bit central, and sometimes they'll rotate in and out. But Ben White provides the consistent overlap that we need on the right hand side. That's his job. That's what he does. He does it very well. And I think because it's not really that flashy in terms of insane 1v1 defending or assists or the flashy stuff that Trent does, or the more defensively astute things that Kyle Walker does. I think because you've got a mixture of the two, that's the way you're going to look at it, because he's not someone that you're looking at and saying is outstanding in one attribute. He's very, very, very good at all parts of being a fullback, and that's why he gets underlooked. Because like you look at Reece James, for example, Reece James is very good at being an overlapping fullback. He's someone that can provide a goal threat, but the problem is he's injured all the time. So that's why he doesn't get put in these conversations. Ben doesn't get put in these conversations because he went home from the England camp. He was started as a centre back, and people want to continue with this narrative. He's a very, very good right back, and he deserves better.
I'm just gonna bring it back down for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Now we win the game 4-0. Goal for our goal record in the league. This brings us up, but we now need to look around. We're second in the league. Liverpool City drop points. Do we look forward to? Are you guys looking forward to the Champions League game right now, or are you looking all the way forward to the Man City game? How are you viewing this?
Look, it's all about the next game, isn't it? Like we've only played one game in the Champions League. Like we still. I mean, I was there. I haven't seen one at home yet. Like I want to see it at home now. I want to sit and enjoy it in front of the TV for once, instead of it's an away game in Europe that is in the Champions League. It's not at bloody Bodo Glimt or something like that. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a very good game, I reckon. Not because they're so good. It's just I think that being back and having that how can you put it, that spectacle back, it's nice to have. So yeah, looking forward to it for sure.
What are you saying, Sulz? How are you viewing this? Are you planning ahead for Man City, or are you just focused on the Champions League game?
No, I mean, it's a Champions League. You can't take the opposition lightly. I know we've kind of jokingly kind of said that as only Lens, we should be beating them even if, Bukayo Saka plays or not. But you can't take, because we've seen it, like Sheriff beat, Real Madrid 1-0. Like these are the moments that a lot of these, in a respectful way, the smaller teams or the more unknown teams look forward to. Is Arsenal. We are one of the biggest names in Europe and one of the most talked about clubs in world football right now because of the project that we've got, because of the light, the eyes that are on us in terms of needing to deliver. So they're going to want to beat us. They're going to want to put a spanner in the woodworks. They know, beating Arsenal is a big thing for their club. So we can't take those games lightly. We can't sit there and go, oh, yeah, you know what, let's just focus on City. Because the minute you do that is the minute you start dropping points. And look, you need to get 10 points as quick as you can. Just get the automatic qualification and then worry, then rest, then do whatever you need to do. But because the expectation is the group that we've drawn, we have got to get out of it. There's no excuses to not.
How about getting out? I mean, you have to finish top of it. We want a chance in this thing. It's not even about getting out. We have to finish top, especially with the group we have.
Yeah, I'm just saying, minimum expect, just get out. Like, you have to get out. And it can't be like we just about done it. No, it has to be a convincing, we beat the teams we needed to do. We got the automatic qualification, and that's what I'm looking for. So get that first, and then we can worry about, we can skip the opponent because we've done what we needed to do.
Okay, stop the analyzation and everything for a second. Let's just listen. Let's just be fans for a second. Go back to yourself during the game. Did a part of you say, "This is what I've been waiting for all season"? Just as a fan, to sit back, comfortable win, have the fans cheering for Kai Havertz, or are you saying, you know what, this is not even close to our best yet?
No, it's not even about that. What I expect from this season is not about the first 7 games. It's not about the first 10 games. It's not about the first 19 games. It's not about the first 30 games. What I expect this season is to be sitting at the end of May, the beginning of June, looking forward to the final games of the season. That's the main thing I look for as a fan. And we're 7 games in. Like, we're seeing people crown teams title challenges with 7 games past. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Like, genuinely, let's see where we are after 10 games, evaluate, see where we are after 19 games, evaluate, take every game as a time and enjoy the process, enjoy the ride that we're being subjected to. I think that's the main thing. I think it's not about, I enjoyed the game, but genuinely, if we're looking at it from my expectations for what I expect for this season, that's what I expect. I expect to actually be there in May. And
do we rotate against Lens?
Of course we do. I expect to see a Brentfordish lineup against Long.
Really? Yeah. Brentfordish?
Yeah. Genuinely, like why would we not?
Like an ESR coming in, Reece Nelson coming in. I think that's good enough to beat Lens. But of course, like, you just want to have your gunmen on the bench.
I remember they had a very, very bad start to the season. Let's have a look quick look now. Where are they in Liga? I remember they're not doing great in Liga. So they are, give me a second. They are 13th in Liga, right?
So let's see what Mikel Arteta had to say in the press conference after the game quickly, while we're doing this, because I feel like we're looking too far ahead. Let's get back to the game quickly. Shout out to everyone in the comment section. We're going to do the player ratings in a second, but before we go any further, Mikel Arteta backing the supporters for backing Kai Havertz, and boy did they back Kai Havertz. That song, I love that song. Did you guys hear it? Let me play.
Yeah, I mean the funny thing is. Yeah, the best thing was we've been singing it for a couple of games now, but because he scored and because Bournemouth away creates that atmosphere. I don't know what it is about Bournemouth, but when we go to Bournemouth, we create a crazy atmosphere there.
I think everyone should be able to do that. Bournemouth is such a small pitch. But let's go to Arteta's press conference. What questions do you think they asked them? There's always some good questions that they ask them, sometimes some pointless ones. First question on Havertz's goal celebration with the team. Of course, he's just going to say so happy for him. Talking about what a goal will do for Havertz's confidence. We already know that. On Saka going off injured, I don't know yet. We haven't had a chance to speak to him. I think this one was a stomp. It wasn't the same area. I don't know. And Gabby was limping after the game. Let's see how they are. Gabriel Magalhaes was limping after the game also. Just a bunch of questions about Havertz. Focus on City next week? No. First thing he's going to say is we talk about Tuesday.
Yep. Of course he will. Of course he will. Why wouldn't he?
And then that's it. Yeah. Because, of course, they're going to ask him about City. Nothing really this press conference. Nothing really to talk about.
No.
Honestly, we win 4-0. We're just kind of excited. But there's not really too many talking points at this point. We've done what we needed to do. And I like it like that. Calm. Now let's do the player ratings. We're going to start by Raya. What are you guys saying? Player ratings for Raya. Everyone in the comment section also let me know what you guys say. What?
Didn't really have to do much. I would say 6.57.
If he's had an average game, you give him a 6. If you think he has an above average game, give him a 7.
No, 6 then. Pretty average game.
Average game, 6.
Yeah, I mean, he had nothing to do. There was nothing like, oh my god, he saved us. So
no, and the thing is, right? I don't think and the thing is, I know the comments are going to go off, and genuinely, this is just my opinion. I think he's fine. I think he did fine, but there were times when he was just kicking it to no one. There were times where I remember there was one possession specifically where he kicked it. We lost possession. He missed the kick, and we had a chance against us. So it's not about having an agenda against Raya, because I would say the same thing if it was Ramsdale. It's just that I don't think he had a bad day. I don't think he had a great day either. I think he was just an average day. So yeah, if the score says, if the scale is average game is 6, then 6, yeah.
I'm just gonna be a little bit more generous.
Okay.
Let's give 7s, because I'm giving the whole defense an 8. I'm giving almost the entire team 7s or 8s.
Okay. Okay, and the thing is, you said I'm just going by your scale.
I'm throwing around.
I initially said 7, so yeah.
Okay,
7
so
is
7.
fine.
Souls, what are you saying?
Well, for Raya only or for the defenders?
Raya.
Raya 6.
6. Okay. We'll meet in the middle, 7. Okay. Because what it was is, me and Thing both gave 7. You gave a 6, so we'll just go 7. That cool?
Oh, 7, yeah, that's fine.
All right. With Raya getting a 7, am I deluded to think Ben White goal 8? Amazing performance defensively, did his job, going back and forth. The 2 defenders, Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes, on point, no issues, 8 out of 10. And then finally, Zinchenko, putting the strings, helping out in the midfield, doing his job, 8 out of 10. Am I crazy to give them all 8s?
No, I mean, I would have given Zinchenko 8 or even 8.5 at a stretch. But like he was very good. I think we saw an improvement in the pivot, as you were, in possession with Zinchenko and Rice. So yeah, 8 to 8.5, good with you. He was very good today.
Souls, what are you saying? Zinchenko, Saliba, Gabriel, and Ben White.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Zinchenko today actually did his job perfectly, especially with Rice in terms of just trying to dominate that midfield, keep the ball ticking over. And even in his attacking phases now, Zinchenko's popping up in a lot better and more dangerous areas. There was one shot, he absolutely laced it, and that could have, in another day, gone in. So he's improving in all aspects of his game. I know people are going to look at, Zinchenko at Ukraine and say, well, we've seen this before. But the reality is, like, we've not seen this side of him at Arsenal, his attacking fluidity as well, getting into those positions to kind of disrupt the defensive flow of the opposition. So I think Zinny does deserve a bit more than probably the others. Saliba, Gabriel, solid today. Both did their jobs. Recoveries were good. Ben White got his goal. So I'd say Ben White and Zinny could get 8.5s, and Saliba and Gabriel could get 8s for me.
By the way, the PGMOL just apologized.
I'm just reading it now. Yeah, the statement's crazy.
It's the stupidest thing. They've done it again, man. I can't be bothered anymore. They're just
the thing is right. I feel like genuinely, like maybe I'm being ridiculous, but for me, when it's Arsenal, when it's Liverpool, this shit happens. When it's United, when it's City, when it's Chelsea, this shit does not happen. Like when it's the money clubs, this shit doesn't happen. When it's us, when it's Liverpool, it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. I'm sorry, it doesn't. And I feel like it's not even about an agenda. There's just a genuine.
Have the referees ever made a mistake when Man United or Man City were playing?
No, even though their fans pretend that they do. If United have got a statement like this from PGMOL, then show it to me, because I'm sure that. I mean, look at the Onana one, for God's sake. The Onana one against Wolves. I mean, how ridiculous was that? I'm not sitting here saying that there's corruption, this and that. It's a genuine bias towards having the referees be right.
That's what the Anfield talk is saying. Official statement from the PGMOL, corruption.
No, but the thing is, it's a constant way to look to protect the referees and not protect the game. It's constantly that way.
But it's like, okay, my major issue is, right, okay, so a
what's the
mistake
punishment
made here. No,
there's no punishment.
No, because look, this is what I'm getting onto, right? So last season it happened to us where they forgot to draw the lines, and guess what they did? All right, so they suspended the guy who fired him, brought him back this season to actually train people to do VAR. It's like, this guy forgot to do VAR, and you want him to train people to do VAR? Like, what? And now it's happened again. No coincidence. There's no punishments. There's nothing. And that's the reality of it. They get scathe-free. They get to go home. Oh, don't abuse the refs. They deserve abuse. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even care what people think of me right now, because the reality is they get away with
even
murder.
Jamie Carragher is sick and tired of it.
Everyone's sick and tired of it. It's
Because
not
they
about
keep
Curran.
apologizing. You know how many apologies? We had more apologies last season than we probably had goals scored. They apologized for Martinelli's goal. They apologized for this goal. It was like several apologies by Christmas. Every single week was another apology. It's like just shove them up your ass and actually do your jobs.
I don't know.
What's this? PGMOL admitting massive mistake, allowing the goal for
This
accurate-
is just dumb. I'm sorry, Terry, love you, but this is a dumbass tweet. Look at the perspective of the angles, mate. Look at the angles. It's not the same situation. You can see Ake in front of Leno, whereas Onana has a clear line to the ball. It's not the same situation at all.
It's like Onana's not even looking at the two players.
Why don't they implement this type of ref?
Because they don't get to control the narrative. They don't get to control the game. The AI does everything. Because here, right now, right, humans still have to draw the lines. Humans still have to put the lines on. This completely automated. It's like the goal line technology. There's no.
So why don't they implement it? Makes their life easier.
No, because it's not about making their life easier. It's because they want control. They want control. They want to make sure that they control the narrative. That's the problem.
Stupidity. It's actually stupid. So the reason why the Tottenham goal didn't go the goal was disallowed is because Tottenham didn't have a camera in their new world class stadium.
No, because this shot has been taken. It's because they didn't draw the lines. It's like Brentford again.
Yeah, they
didn't draw the lines.
They didn't draw the lines, man.
That's it. That's the same mistake again.
Mad.
Daylight robbery. It's fucked up. But hey, let's finish up.
Just the last thing before this, because if that goal goes in, right, Liverpool go 1-up. They still have 11 men on the pitch. It's a completely different game. Completely different game.
No, they don't have 11 men on the pitch.
Was the Diaz goal before
at that point,
or after,
they have
the Curtis
10 men.
Jones? Was it after the Curtis Jones goal?
2-1 up, 10 men.
Was it 2-1 up? I thought it was 1-0 up.
Yeah, it was. They scored 2-1, and it was 10 men. That was the situation after that goal was scored.
Yeah, I was only half watching it. I was only half watching it.
They still would have still had 10 men.
Yeah. If they still had 10 men, then they don't have
2-1 up. 10.
What about the
9
Jota?
men behind the ball.
Jota's first yellow card
Is
was from Odegaard tripping himself. If that was Arsenal, I would be fuming. And of course,
it's not even Arsenal when I'm fuming. It's not even Arsenal.
It's just the
I'm just upset.
inconsistencies that constantly happen. It's every single goddamn week.
It's not just the inconsistency, right? It's the fact that you can't trust the game. You can't trust the game. Like if I'm sitting here and I've said you've taken out real-time celebrations, right? Look, I can accept if there's human error, right? And there's no VAR, right? Because then at least you get the emotional celebration we used to have. There's a discussion after the game. If you're going VAR, get it goddamn right. Get it right.
Well, you've got your
got to take
replays.
it completely serious.
You can take the game back. Yeah, you can take the game back. You've got time. You've taken 3-4 minutes making decisions anyway. It's not like you're time limited. It's not like you're under pressure to make these decisions. It's like we see it back and go, well, actually, yes, it's offside or it's not.
They
offside.
don't care. Honestly,
they want to know who wins and loses. That's it.
I don't think it's corruption to the level where they want to control who wins and loses. I think it's just they don't want to supersede.
I think there's a creative director. I'm convinced.
No, it's not even about having it in one team's advantage. It's the fact is the referees always have to seem like they're right. The referees, right? If you look at the Onana chance, you look at the Ake thing, right? You look at the Onana the challenge. If you heard the audio, I don't know if you went and heard the audio. They literally said it's a red card offense, and then went back onto him in his ear and be like, oh, it's okay, check complete. Like they said, there's an offense there, and they went check complete. Like it's like it's the bias is towards the refs, not towards the game. The sanctity and the integrity of the game isn't being put paramount here, and that's the problem. I don't know. It's a very weird situation.
You know what? We're gonna keep it moving.
We're gonna keep it moving because the thing is, we just won 4-0. I don't want to end on like a on saying.
You know
like
what? Let's finish doing the player ratings because I feel like today.
Yeah, go on.
Let's be honest. Can we just give all these guys 7s or 8s? Because today,
100%.
8 for Ben White. You get an 8. You get an 8. You get an 8. 7.5. No, you get an 8. You get an 8.5 maybe, based on what you said. Declan Rice, another 8.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Don't you agree, Sulz?
Yeah.
That was great.
I think
Kai
it's
Havertz,
7-8.
8.5. Odegaard, I think my man of the match, 9. Saka, 8.5.
Yeah.
Jesus, 7.5. Eddie Nketiah, 7.5. And then the rest of them, I'll just give them 6s for coming on the pitch.
I don't know if you guys saw when Tomiyasu came on the pitch, like the first situation where we were playing out from the back, he dropped into central centre back, and then he kind of went from central centre back. There were times when he was playing there. He was times playing at left back. Sometimes he was playing at left centre back. They were really trying to mix it up, and in the build up when he came on, he's such a good piece to have on the pitch because you can really vary your build up with him on the pitch. So that was really good to see. And we talked about the Saka injury already, so we don't really know yet. And the thing is, even if we did know, who believes Arsenal right now anyway? Like, we're just going to. It's just a case of we'll see when the lineup comes out, unless it's like an actual injury, like with Timber or that kind of thing. If it's like a knock, don't trust the club.
Let's talk about Saka. Saka, we don't have an update. You're right. What's the most recent update? Mikel Arteta's press conference. That's it. Really, nothing else. There's not even any.
The thing is, we would have heard a lot more if it was serious. The fact that we haven't heard anything means it's probably something minor.
He just got kicked, mate. It's that simple.
Yeah.
You know what? That's it, guys. We're gonna wrap it up here. This is a quick little match reaction. Tomorrow I'm gonna be doing vibes from the 6 at 8:30 because I'm going on Saeed's channel from 7:30 to 8:30, and then I'm gonna be on here. So keep an eye out for that. I'm gonna clip up that part where we talked about the PGOL because I think that deserves its own video. But yeah, big up to everybody who's watching. Big up Curran for coming on. Big up Gunnar Sulz for coming on. Big up to all you guys for watching. Shout out to you guys in the comment section. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that performance from Arsenal. That was a massive win. And if you've gotten this far in the video, shout out to you and tell me what your favorite sports team outside of football, like outside of Premier League football is. And I'll know that you've watched up until this point. So shout out to you guys in the comment section. Let's get this show going.